Can you hear me, Matthew? I think you're frozen on my screen, Matthew.
Hi, Mr. Palmer.
Hi, now I can hear you. How are you? Good. How was your weekend?
Pretty good. Can I show you something?
Yeah.
Here it comes. It'll take a couple seconds. My thing's been slow.
Okay.
Oh no, don't do it. Oh no.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah, I just want you to see something. Almost.
What is that?
I don't know. I figured it out while I was waiting for Spanish class. Right.
Oh. Okay, that looks a little crazy.
Why are you doing this again? It's even recorded. Matthew.
Oh, well. Okay. I'm going to watch it later to see what it looks like. Okay, hang on.
All right, we need to get into math. So make sure you have your book open to page 523. Numbers 5 to 12.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Miss Palmer, number 11 I didn't get.
Number 11?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at number 11. Do I have tests from everyone? I know I had Emma, Abby, Karen, and Nicholas last week, so I have to go through and check the rest. So did I get, let's see, who else did I have left?
Miss Palmer, I can't find mine.
You can't find what, honey?
Test. Because I went on Classroom and it wasn't there.
True.
Did you do it on Google Classroom, or did you, you know, you're just opening like a Word document and sending it?
I got you.
Oh, I wanted to use the Classroom to like look for the page.
You went to Google Classroom to look for the page?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
I don't know how to explain it. Like, I just wanted to Google Classroom.
Yeah.
And like, I went to look for it and it wasn't there.
You went into Google Classroom to see what the test was, like what page you had to do?
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Oh, no.
there. So how could you solve that problem, do you think? Like, Nathan, if I gave you two choices, and one choice would be don't do the test, and the other one would be send Mrs. Palmer an email and ask her what page it is. Which one would you choose?
Ask what page it is.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. Okay. Here, let me share my screen with you. Maybe we can find
Dog
it.
wants to go out.
Yeah. Here's another dog barking. I have 3 dogs in my house right now.
Wow.
3?
Yeah, I have my sons.
What's the black one behind you?
That's my dog. That's Walker. He's a Texas healer.
Cool.
And
And I have a little dog that belongs to my son and daughter-in-law because they're here, and also I have a big lab also. Okay.
oh no.
Can you guys see my screen?
What color is he, the big lab?
Yes.
Nathan, can you see my screen?
I just had to unpin you.
Okay. You see my screen now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I went into our Keystone Algebra Google Classroom under classwork, and it says chapter 8 will test due April 17th. So I'm going to click on that. And there it is. Okay. So it's right in there. And then you're just going to make a Google document to put your answers in, or you're going to take a picture of it and send it to my email. That's fine also. All right. So, yep, I have Lauren and Matthews now. And I had 4. So that leaves me with, I need Nathan's and Gavin's. Gavin, did you send me your test?
Not yet.
Look at the due date. It said it was due on April 17th. What's today's date? I know it's kind of hard because we're like losing track of time in our quarantine, but today's the 20th. So that makes
Wow.
it past April 17th. Okay. So I should have those guys. All right. And if you can't find the assignment, you have to let Mrs. Palmer know that you can't find it.
God will not accept our wrongs if we don't.
Okay. It's funny. There's all these like memes online of the teachers teaching online, and then they show like the students saying, "Oh, I didn't have that assignment," except, you know, like with computers, you can see when someone opens something. So, okay. Nathan, you did have a question for number 11. It looks like this to start. Okay.
Are you going to give us this on dog challenge? You're still presenting your screen also.
Yeah. Okay. And will I give you a Sundog challenge? I may. Okay. Okay. So go ahead and pin Mrs. Palmer so you guys can see the board. All right. I'm looking at the first 2. I'm going to break it up into 2 pieces here, Nathan. So first thing I'm going to do is that. Just draw some parentheses around it. Okay. And I'm going to look at my numbers 10 and 5. And I'm going to say, oh, I could pull out a 5. And I'm going to look at my letters. I could pull out P to the 3rd power. I can't pull out a Q because my second term doesn't have a Q. Okay. And that leaves me with 2Q minus P. All right, I'm going to look at my second set of parentheses, and I'm going to look at my numbers 3 and 6. I'm going to say I could pull out a 3. I'm going to look at my variables. They don't both have a P, so I can't take out a P, but they both have Q to the first power. So I'll take out 3Q, and I'm left with P minus 2Q. Yeah, so this one is kind of interesting. I'm glad you asked about this one, Nathan. This one was more unusual because when we've been doing these, Mrs. Palmer's like, oh, because it's a book problem, like see how nicely it works out? This one's a little bit weird, right? Because it says 2Q plus or 2Q minus P, P minus 2Q. Those are inverses. Okay, so I want them to look the same. So I'm going to keep the first part the same. I'm not going to do anything to that first part. I'm just going to write it down again. And I'm going to pull out like a -1. Okay? I'm going to pull out a negative. I'm going to pull out a -1. So now it's going to say minus 3Q. And that's going to change the sign of everything inside. So that's going to look like negative P plus 2Q. 2Q minus P plus 2Q. That's the same thing. Okay. 2Q minus P minus 3Q. I'm just going to flip those last two terms around because of the commutative property of addition. It doesn't matter what order they're in. So instead of minus P plus 2Q, I'm going to make it 2Q minus P. Now they look the same, okay? So sometimes you have to recognize that they're inverses, and it just changes your sign here and makes them the same inside. So my final answer will be, I write down what I have inside my parentheses, factor that out, 2Q minus P, and I make another set of parentheses with 5P to the third minus 3Q. Okay. But Nathan, good job on noticing that number 11 was a little bit different than the rest of 5 through 12. All right, let's see how you guys did on 5 through 12. Number 5, let me see what you got for that one. Abby, number 5.
For 5, I got in parentheses n plus 8 times the quantity of p plus 2.
Good. And it doesn't matter what order you have that in. So if you have the p plus 2 and then n plus 8, it doesn't matter which set of parentheses you have first because of the commutative property of multiplication. Okay, order doesn't matter. That's good, Abby. Number 6, Emma.
I got 7 plus x.
7 plus x.
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah, that's all I got. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at number 6. It's xy minus 7x plus 7y minus 49. Okay. Factor out a y. You're going to break it up into those two sets, and you're going to factor out a y, Emma, from the first set.
Yeah.
All right. You'll be left with x minus sorry, factor out an x. You'll be left with y minus 7.
7 minus y. Oh, yeah.
Right. Here you go. So you're going to factor out an x, and you have y minus 7. Factor out a 7, and you have y minus 7. Okay, and then your next step, factor out your y minus 7. So you end up with y minus 7 times x plus 7.
The big mistake.
What's the big mistake?
For me, it's always the signs.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Number 7, Gavin. You have to unmute, Gavin. Gavin Torres, number 7, you need to unmute. Also,
Sorry, I was dealing with something. Right.
you're not going to ask me the page number, right?
No.
Good. And you have your homework? Yes, good. Okay, number 7.
I got. Ooh, this one. So 3bc plus 15c minus 10b plus 2b. This one.
Yeah, just give me your answer, Gavin.
I had troubles with this one. So
What about it was particularly troublesome?
I couldn't get them both even. Kind of like.
Okay.
So.
All right, break it up like this, Gavin. Okay. And then factor out 3c. And you're left inside with b plus 5. All right. And then factor out a 2. And you're left with b plus 5. Notice how when you factor out the 2, because it's negative 2b, all right, and there's a negative sign here, so I factor out a 2, I'm left with b.
I put them backwards.
There was a negative here, and this is a negative, so it becomes a positive, okay? Just like I'm factoring out a negative 2, okay? So we have...
I put them backwards, that's why.
Yeah, look like that. All right, so what would my final answer be, Gavin?
3c plus 2 in
You want to do
parentheses.
3c minus 2. Don't forget your minus.
Minus 2 plus b plus 5.
Yep, and don't put any sign between your two sets of parentheses. You're multiplying those two sets of parentheses. Okay? Okay, number 8, Karen.
Okay, number 8.
Mhm.
So I got 9f in parentheses g minus 5,
Yeah,
and then minus 7, and also in parentheses g minus 5.
that's it.
And then it equals, in parentheses, I got g minus 5, and other in parentheses, g minus 7.
Okay, I wrote down everything you said there for in parentheses 9f and then g minus 5 minus 7 and in parentheses g minus 5. Good. And just this last step. So you said g minus 5 in parentheses.
Yes.
Did you have 9f minus 7 in your second set of parentheses?
Yes.
Perfect. Good job. All right. So g minus 5 times the quantity 9f minus 7. Good work, Sharon. Okay, Lauren, number 9.
For number 9, I got the quantity of n minus 7 plus the quantity of 3k plus 2.
Yes, good. M minus 7 and 3k plus 2 in parentheses. I like the way you say the quantity of, using your math lingo. I'm going to write it down so everyone can see that one. Okay, the quantity of m minus 7 times the quantity 3k plus 2. Good work. All right, number 10 goes to Matthew. All right. Matthew, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Of course, you picked me for the one I didn't get.
You didn't get number 10? What was tricky
No.
about that one?
10 and 11. I heard.
Okay. Well, look at number 10. What could you factor out of the first two terms? Or I guess we would probably rewrite that one. Maybe that's why. I'm going to rewrite number 10, Matthew, to 4cd squared minus 20d. We're going to change the order. Plus 3cd minus 15. All right? Because then we'll be able to factor some constants out and a variable in the first one. So break it up into the first two, right? And the second two. And the first one,
That'd be
the first set, what are you going to factor out? What number? You have
4D.
a 4 and a 20. Yes, 4D. Good. And you're left with
C. No. Yeah, no. CD. Minus 5.
good. Now look at your second set. What are you going to factor out?
Factor out a 3.
Yeah. And what are you left with?
A 3. C
Factor out a
minus
3.
5.
What goes inside your parentheses?
C minus 5.
CD minus 5.
C minus 5. Wait.
Right. And a D.
Oh, yeah. CD. Yes,
Yeah.
CD.
Okay. So now what will your final answer be? All right. So take what you have in parentheses and write that down. What do you have in parentheses, Matthew?
It'll be CD minus 5.
Uh-huh. And what do you have outside of your parentheses?
4D minus 5 plus 3.
That's it. Okay. CD minus the quantity of CD
Doesn't matter
minus
which way you
5.
put them.
No, it doesn't matter which set of parentheses is first. Okay.
Okay.
Because of the commutative property of multiplication. All right, number 11 would go to Nathan, and Nathan already worked on number 11 because we talked about that one together. That was his question. All right, I'll put that one back up. 11 is the quantity 2q minus p times the quantity 5p to the third minus 3q. All right, you guys had one more, number 12. Okay, Nicholas, did you tell us what you got for number 12?
For number 12, I got 6 plus b times the quantity of 5a minus 1.
Okay, good. Let me write that down. Number 12. And you said 6 plus b. I had b plus 6. It doesn't matter which way it goes. Okay, quantity of 6 plus b, or b plus 6, times the quantity 5a minus 1. All right, does anyone need to see the steps for number 12 that Nicholas did? Or was that one not tricky? Okay. So I did put also in your Google Classroom some videos for what we're going to be doing next. What we're doing next is factoring. Okay, I'd like you to watch the videos because we're going to start that tomorrow. I'm going to give you a few more problems like this to do tonight for practice on factoring by grouping. And then tomorrow, we're going to start factoring quadratic trinomials. And if you watch the videos first on factoring quadratic trinomials, it'll just be helpful for you. All right, so let's look. I'm going to give you a few more problems to do. Page 524. Let's do number 21. 27. 33. Not 33. Sorry, that's not grouping. Change it to 31. And 39. I'm going to hold it up for you. Notice I'm giving you odds. So if you do get stuck and you want to check your answer, those are in the back. I trust that you guys are not just copying down answers because that's not very helpful. Okay, but you can like do the work and then check and make sure you're okay. Page 524, numbers 21 and 27 and 31 and 39. All right, and take a look at factoring quadratic trinomials because that's what we're at tomorrow. That's pretty much the last concepts that we need to cover to make sure we hit all the concepts. So after we finish that section of the chapter and wrap this chapter up, we'll do review of everything, you know, as if we were going to take Keystones in May. Right? Do you guys have any questions for me?
Don't see why we can't. All I have to do is mail it to us.
Right? I don't know. They're just not doing, Pennsylvania's not doing any standardized testing this spring. So we'll see what they have in store for us. If you get stuck, come to see me between 2 to 3. All right. And Gavin and Nathan, you guys owe me that test. Okay. That was due on Friday. So make sure I get that today. Okay. That would be, do that before you do your 4 homework problems. Okay. All right. Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.